Hello and welcome to Tech Update. Today we are starting a new video series focused on one of the best type 2 hypervisors, VMware Workstation. So why are these tools like this so important? Whether your purpose is to learn a new operating system, test a piece of software, or build out a complex configuration, it is critically important to do all of these things in a safe and isolated environment first. Because if we don't test it and instead directly implement it into the production environment, it can lead to irreversible problems. So creating virtual environments will let us work without having fear to make mistakes, and learning from them are so important for us. In this first video of the series, we will walk through the installation, get to know the user interface, and configure the general settings. Let's get started. To be able to use this software, it needs to be installed in our computer. If it is not installed, we can download it from the Broadcom website. We need to go to the access.broadcom.com and then log in with our credentials. If we don't have any credentials inside Broadcom, we can create it easily from the right upper section. So after that, we can specify our credentials here and then log into the website. This is the website that we can download the software. From the left section, you will see the My Download. Click it and then click the Here button, which directs us to the free software download section. After that, we need to search the product. If we are a Mac user, we should search VMware Fusion instead of VMware Workstation Pro. And click the search results and then click VMware Fusion. There you will see the latest version, which is currently VMware Fusion 25H2. And after clicking it, you can download it easily from here. If we are a Windows user, we should search VMware Workstation instead of VMware Fusion. From this product search section, we type VMware Workstation and then click Show Results. After that, VMware Workstation Pro, it will display the latest version of it. Right now, it is 25H2. When we click it again, we can download it easily. Some of them may see that it is not clickable. So in case this happens, you need to agree the terms. Let me show you how you do it. For example, I haven't installed the 17.6.2 version before, and I want to download it in my computer. I am clicking it, and then, as you can see, HTTPS download section is not active. To make it happen, I need to agree the terms and conditions, but as you can see, I cannot click here. To make this happen, I need to click to the terms and conditions sections first. It will open a new tab, and then just go back to the previous tab, and you'll realize that you can click this button, and then it will be enabled for you to download this software. So let's assume that you've finished the download process and you need to install it in your computer. It is pretty straightforward, but to make this video complete and understandable, I will also record this section for you. But because I have already installed in my computer, I will demonstrate it in my virtual environment. So I created a Windows 11 machine in my virtual environment, and then copy the installation file into it. And in case you download it in your computer, we can continue from here. So just double click the software. We are clicking next and accepting the license agreement, and again next. It says Hyper-V is not detected on those, which is fine. We will be using the VMware's hypervisor. Let's click next. And then it asks us where to install this software. The default one is fine for us, and click next. In the first section, it asks us to check the updates on startup. We can keep it that way. But generally, I deselect this option, VMware Customer Experience Improvement Program, which I don't want to join, and click next. And this is fine for me. Click next and install. The installation process is completed. Now we can start exploring the user interface of the product. When you open the software, you will see the home screen. There are mainly 3 sections here. To create a new virtual machine, we can use the first one. We will do this on the next videos. We will not create virtual machines right now. The second one, open a virtual machine. If we previously installed or configured a virtual machine, we can open it here. So there is a specific extension called VMX. So when we select it, we can easily import this virtual machine into the library here. Because we installed already the Windows 11, it comes here in a second tab. The third one is the connect to a remote server. So let's say we have an ESXi environment. So we have virtual machines under it. If you want to connect to ESXi environment, we can specify an IP address and a username and password, and we can list it here easily. Now we can jump on the upper left section of this product. So there are file, edit, view, VM tabs, and help section. Let's jump into it. The file section, we already covered some of them. Creating any virtual machine, opening it, and also connect to a server. But there are some other configurations and sections like scan for virtual machines. What does it do? It does that if we select a directory in our disk, it can easily discover and search new virtual machines or previously installed virtual machines. So as I stated before, it targets to VMX files. So when we specify a directory, the system can easily search them, and if there are any VMX files and also virtual machines, we can easily import them. As you can see, there are about 5 virtual machines and discovered, and when we click finish, we can see that it is already imported into our virtual machine, but we don't see it. Why? Because we haven't enabled the library menu. To do that, we can click here, show or hide the library, or we can click the F9 button to access that easily. So as you can see, in our computers, there are many virtual machines configured or installed. Also, there is another section here, configure auto start VMs. What does it do? For example, if you want to start virtual machines when we boot our main computer, we can use here. So after our main computer started, these virtual machines can also start here. To make this happen, there is one dependency here. It says VMware Auto Start service needs to be started automatically. So in our main computer, when we go to the run and click write services.msc and click OK, we will see some services here, and when we go to the VMware section, we see that the auto start services needs to be enabled. So we need to start it and make it automatic to make this work after the next boot. The second section is the edit section, and virtual network editor is one of the most important parts, and it will be covered on next videos. But what does it do? According to our needs, we may want to change or create new networks. So some virtual machines may need to be opened to the internet or not, or some virtual machines needs to be talk to each other or not. So these kind of network configurations can be done under the virtual network editor, and this section will be covered on our next videos. The last section of this video will be the preferences, but before jumping in, I want to explain the other sections. The View section, we partly explained some of the features here, like library section. If you want, you can also enable the thumbnail bar, which is opening like this. Since this library and the tab menu is very easy to use for me, I don't want to open it, so I can click here to disable it as well. Also, auto size section is important, but the default settings will be okay, so we don't need to change anything. I strongly suggest that you can keep these settings as it is. The VM section, as you can see, they're all grayed out because we haven't selected any virtual machine. Right now we are on the home tab. But when we select any virtual machine, we can see that these sections come alive. So right now the system is up, but if you want to close it, shut down it, restart it, or suspend it, we can use these options as well. So also, when we plug a USB device in our computer or the ones we want to connect to the virtual machines, we can use the Removable Devices section and connect and disconnect operations like here. If you want to send a Ctrl-Alt-Delete combination of the keys, we can use here as well, as you can see here. If you want to take snapshots, we can do it as well. The snapshots and also the clone mechanism is very important, and we will cover these sections in another videos. But in short, snapshot allow you to take the current status of the virtual machine and save it. So when we want to make critical change in the virtual machine, if we take snapshot before, we can restore it on the respective status, and it will allows us to not reinstall the virtual machine again and again, and it will save much more time. You can use this option extensively. And there is also the reinstall VMware tools. In any virtual machine, we need to install the VMware tools. What does it do? It actually installs some drivers like display drivers to make this automatic changing resolutions or mouse and keyboard access. So when we install these tools, it will allows us to configure this virtual machine easily. So it is very important for us to installing it. And since I installed it already in my virtual machine, it tells me if I need to reinstall the VMware tools or not. And finally, the settings section here for the virtual machine, it allows us to change, modify, add, remove the respective hardwares and the VMware virtual settings options here. Since we will dive it in another videos, I will not explain it too much, but from here you can change many configurations, many settings from this part. And the next section will be the tabs. In my opinion, it is not very useful and handy, but what does it do? Generally allows us to jump from next tab or go to the previous tab and so on. So when we want to do that, we just simply click it like this. If you want to use these tabs, at least you can use the shortcuts like Ctrl and Tab for the next tab and Ctrl Shift Tab for the previous tab. In the final section, there is help button. The help allows us to display the current build of the product, and you can see it here. And also, if you want to manually check software updates, you can use software updates section and click the check for updates section. You can easily trigger the updates checks from here. So let's jump to our final section here as preferences from the edit menu. Some of these configurations are very important for you. Let's start with the workspace. Workspace saves lots of times when you create many virtual machines in your environment. So normally when you install the VMware Workstation, it assigns a default folder location, and when you create a new virtual machine, it tries to create the files and folders in the respective directory. So maybe this directory may not be suited for you, because even if this is the virtual environment, it takes hard disk space for the operating system, and it will be much more bigger later on when you use it. So instead of every time defining new directories for each virtual machine creation, you can specify here a default location and change it according to your needs, so it will save too much time when you do that. The other settings can be accepted as they are. The input tab also in default are okay for us. The hotkeys generally okay, but what does it do? When we go to the virtual machine environment, we just simply click it. And when we click anything or type any keyboard, it can easily do like this. But when we want to use our main computer, we can use Ctrl and Alt keys. So when you do that, as you can see, the cursor icon is changed and we can easily use our main computer here. So the Ctrl and Alt keys combinations are default, and if you want, you can change it from this section. Let's jump back to the edit and preferences again and go to the hotkeys, and you will see there are other hotkeys. So some of them may be important for you, for example Ctrl Alt Enter. So if you want to make it full view for the respective virtual machine, you can use this combination here. As you can see, it is full screen right now. If you click it again, it will take out from the full screen here. So display section is one of the most important parts, but generally the default settings are good. So when we want to change a monitor or make the window smaller or bigger, the system automatically changes the resolution for the virtual machine, and this is a good thing. So when we want to make it smaller, as you can see, there is no scroll bars or other things. It is automatically synchronizes it. Let's go back to the preferences section. So display section is okay. If you want, you can change it according to your needs. The USB section, I think the default one, which is the ask me what to do, is the best one, because there are some times that we may want to plug in the USB device and connect it either our main computer or the virtual machine. So if you need letting the system to ask what to do for us, is, in my opinion, is the better choice to select here. In the update section, generally is fine, but I believe the VMware Tools Updates section will not be enabled by default. So normally we want to let the software check the updates each time when we open the VMware Workstation Pro, and check the software components as needed, and it can easily download them. But VMware Tools also is important. When we make the major upgrade for the VMware Workstation Pro, generally the VMware Tools version also needs to be updated as well on each virtual machine. So rather than doing it manually, we can let the system do it by itself. So I strongly suggest enabling this option. Next, the feedback. As you may remember, we didn't accept joining the VMware Customer Experience Improvement Program, which is fine for us. And the last, the most important part of this section is the memory. Generally, the default is the best one, but it is important to understand how does it work. Maybe you need to change it according to your needs. As you know, there's a physical memory in our main computer. Under reserved memory, we are allocating some of them to the virtual machines, not just one virtual machine, but for all virtual machines. So in my case, as you can see, there are 128 gigabytes of memory, and I am allocating 110 gigabytes of them to the virtual machines. But it is also important how the system allocates memories for the virtual machines. So under reserved memory, you will see the additional memory section, and these are important to understand. The first one is the fit all virtual machine memory into reserved host RAM. What does it mean? It means that all virtual machines will directly use the physical memory which is allocated under here. Even if this sounds is good, I believe it is not the flexible one and also the stable one, because our main computer can also need more memory at the current time, and if these are already allocated, it cannot get this. The second one allows some virtual machine memory to be swapped and also allow most virtual machine to be swapped. Brings flexibility, but it may need to be modified according to your needs. To be able to select the best option, you need to understand the swapping mechanism. So normally the virtual machines will use the physical memory, but in the meantime, they can also swap some of them and transfer it to the file reside in a disk. So there are mainly two sections that virtual machines can benefit from the memory. One is the physical memory and the other one is the file resides in a disk. So the second option, which is the default one, allows some of virtual machine memory to be swapped. So that means the virtual machines will mostly get physical memory and some of them will be swapped only. And because the disk is lower than the physical memory, in this option the virtual machine will have higher performance. In the third option, the virtual machines will use mostly the file in the disk and less from the physical memory. So in the third option, they will have lower performance comparing to the second one. So according to your needs, you can select any of them and use these options. But in my opinion, the second option is already the best one for all possibilities. The other option is the priority. These settings are generally fine and we don't need to change them. And the devices section, the removable media section, is also fine for us. When we want to save the settings, we are just clicking OK and we can complete this video. Thank you for watching. See you on the next time. Bye.